what I told you before broadcast, Rick.
The Cardinals have just beaten the number 2 team in the nation.
Your William Jewell Cardinals, 65.
The final 65-60. The Cardinals win it over number 2 Drury. They break their 11-game streak, and Larry Holley is on deck next.
Usually as a fan, you look at the players when you win, you look at the coach when you lose. My father didn't want me to go into coaching. He just knew that every Tuesday and Friday night at the high school level, you're putting your product out there for everyone to see, and everybody's smarter than the basketball coach. If you don't believe it, go sit in the stands. And I'm sure I still get some of that, but you know, it's it's something that I've enjoyed so much, and I know it's not me. I mean, those wins, and by the way, there's a lot of losses on my ledger as well.
Yeah.
But those wins come because of people who buy into our system and work hard and you know, care more about the success of the team than their individual success.
Fish with the right-handed dribble, not going anywhere. The dribble's in place now. Francis on him. 9 on the shot clock. Fish to the top of the key. Goes left side. Jumper up and good! 3-point lead. 10 seconds left. He'll catch call timeout in the forecourt. Kyle Fisher, ice water in his veins. He hits maybe the biggest shot of his career at Jewell here. We'll see how it works out.
8 seconds to play, trailing by 3. Eric Young with the basketball. Bruce Rutherford. 6 seconds to go. 5.
So they're going to play for one.
Need a 3 to tie. Here it goes. In and out. William Jewell has pulled the upset. The Cardinals with a stunner over the number 1 team in the country. The top seed of the tournament is out. Losing to William Jewell, 76-73, and the Cardinals can celebrate.
Thank you very much. Especially I want to thank the selection committee for this honor, and most especially for overlooking all of my losses.
Hi, my name is Larry Holley. I'm the head men's basketball coach at William Jewell College. Proud to say this is my 36th year as the head men's basketball coach of the Cardinals, and I'm a proud 1967 graduate of William Jewell. I want to give a shout out to my wife Linda, to my daughters Lindsay, Lauren, and Lacey and their families, and certainly to all the great Cardinal fans out there. It's a great day to be a Cardinal. It is a great day to be a Cardinal, so I want you to finish that sentence for me. It's a great day. It's not good enough. It's a great day. It's a great day. It's a great day to be a Cardinal. It's a great day to be a Cardinal. It's very good.
Johnny Angel, Johnny Angel, Johnny Angel, you're an angel to me. Johnny Angel, how I love him. He's got something that I can't resist, but he doesn't even know that I exist. Johnny Angel, how I want him, how I tingle when he passes by. Every time he says hello, my heart begins to fly.
Our scouting report told us who to guard and who not to guard out there, which helped a little bit as well. They missed a lot of shots early. I mean, I think it was like 10 to 11 or 10 to 12, and then they took off, and we stayed behind. You know, I told our guys at halftime we've only got 2 problems: offense and defense.
On Johnny Angel, because I love him, and I pray that someday he'll love me, and together we will see how lovely heaven will be. I'm in heaven, I get carried away, I dream of him and me, and how it's gonna be. Other fellas call me up for a date, but I just sit and wait. I'd rather concentrate on Johnny Angel, 'cause I love him, and I pray that someday he'll love
has 852 wins. And this is Coach Holley's 43rd season as head coach, his 35th at Jewell, and number 13 on the all-time list, number 8 on the active list of NCAA 1, 2, 3 and NAIA 1 and 2 coaches.
When someone asks me where I grew up, I'm proud to say Jameson. I don't say Gallatin, I don't say Bethany, I don't say I live close to Trenton. I was born and raised in Jameson.
One of my fondest sayings is all roads lead to Jameson. You just have to know which way to turn.
Oh, there's a crazy little shack beyond the tracks, and everybody calls it
This yours?
well, it's just a coffee house and it's made out of espresso coffee test.
Jameson was the first consolidated school in the state of Missouri. The plaque on the front of this school indicates the year this building was built. What was the year? How many of you went outside and looked? 1915. Name the high school and college where my parents graduated from. The high school was, the college was, Central Missouri State.
Your dad was a principal, a superintendent, an educator. Your mom as well. What did he think that you should be?
Well, I don't know that we ever got that far into it. He just didn't want to see me go through the trials and tribulations.
Look at that. He is barking more than we've seen him bark all year.
He's got about every right to be right now. That's bad.
Yeah, he is. He's chewing on Tom Savela a little bit here during the timeout.
He threw his forearm across his chest, and not even a foul on it. That's not right. That's not right. I've got Larry's back on this one because that's not right.
And there's Larry Holley, who is not all right and has a word or two for our officiating crew.
It's pretty amazing when I think about your family history, your father being the 12th child out of 14, your mom number 15 out of 16, and you're the only child. What was that like for you after knowing what your parents had gone through?
Well, I think they knew what was causing it, and or they saw me and they said, we're having no more of this. But I have 75 first cousins, so every Sunday was go to church, go to a family dinner, play catch, shoot baskets, many times to the other family, because my mom and dad were from a small village, Coffee, Missouri, just north of where I grew up, and so all those families were there, and it was, even though I was an only child, I had a lot of folks who were like brothers and sisters to me.
Growing up, I always told people I was from a broken home. You see, my dad went to the Baptist church. My mom and I went to the Christian church. I was always teased as a child because the Baptist church had a larger membership and they always had more people at Sunday school and church. I'm told by my mother that while riding my tricycle one day and being teased about our church having a smaller attendance total once again, that day I stopped my tricycle and informed that group, that's okay. My mom and I are Christians. Dad's just a Baptist. As you know, if I got in trouble at school, I really got in trouble at home. My dad was my biggest critic, and my mom was my biggest fan. We went to speech contest in Maryville. I was the only guy, okay? And this is an absolute true story. We're getting ready to go to contest, and 3 of us went from the senior class. Irene, Lowell, and I went. But about 2 weeks before contest, my mom, in trying to prepare us to go to contest, brought a lady from William Jewell College to help critique us, and brought a student to show us how to do it, you know, how to improve. And you would go into the English room, and Dr. Georgia Bessie Bowman, okay, renowned professor emeritus in speech and drama and debate at William Jewell College, was the person critiquing us. She sat in the middle of the room. My mom sat in the back of the room, and the William Jewell student sat up at the front, and after we would perform, he would get up and demonstrate how to improve. And then we would leave the room. And then Dr. Bowman would say something in a critiquing way, about each of the students that had come in there, or turn around and talk to Mom about it. So I was in poetry reading and radio speaking. And so I go in, and I go up to the front of the room, and I do my poetry reading. They critique me. I leave the room. When I left the room, Dr. Bowman from William Jewell College, Professor Emeritus, turns to my mother and says, "You're taking him to contest?" Whatever it is, I was Boy Scout for a while. I was tendered for the first class. Honest to goodness, you're taking him to contest? Mom didn't say a word. About a half hour later, I come back in the room because I'm doing radio speaking. Well, I had worked on doing radio speaking like I am right now, standing up, reading off notes. And I started that way, and Dr. Bowman looked at me and says, "Young man, you're allowed to sit down." I looked in the back of the room, and I didn't call my mother Mrs. Holley. I called her Mom. I looked up and I said, "Mom, is that okay?" The look on Mrs. Bowman's face. True story.
51 grades, and 51 students in grades 9 through 12 at Jameson my senior year. There were 10 in my graduating class, but I was in the upper 10%. It was in my dad's contract that I had to be valedictorian. I would sit at the dinner table, I'm an only child, and listen to Mom and Dad talk about coaches from other neighborhoods that were, or other schools that might be getting fired, or things they did or shouldn't do, and but I just knew from a very early age that that's what I wanted to do. I was in the gym with my dad and his team, and I was always shooting baskets or playing catch, something sports related. And on my mom's side of the family, 4 of my older cousins had played collegiately, and so and a lot of them had gone into coaching. So it's just something I knew I wanted to do. And I don't know that I ever asked him that question. He finally quit trying to talk me out of it about the time I was a sophomore in high school. And you know, I see so many people not knowing what they want to do with their lives. I don't know if I was lucky or unlucky, but I knew from the moment I thought about what I wanted to do with my life that I wanted to coach.
Why? How come?
I just loved the game of basketball. Now I was also involved in cross country and track, and part of my scholarship at William Jewell were in those sports as well. But it was just something about that game, something about that round ball. I had my heroes growing up that were key players on my dad's teams. And then in the mid-'50s, I was watching Bob Cousy and the Boston Celtics. It seemed like they were always on TV. And I would listen to University of Missouri games, and just couldn't get enough of it. And my dad would bring a lot of us from this small school in North Missouri to the NAIA tournament every year. And every year, my mom and dad would bring me to the preseason Big 8 tournament. That was always between Christmas and New Year's at Municipal Auditorium. So I was just always around the game and just loved it. And certainly everybody, at least on my mom's side of the family, was involved with it. So where did my passion come from? Where did my motivation come from? Well, it started at home. I'm told I was shooting baskets at the age of 3 upstairs in my home on a homemade hoop. It seems I was always in the gym with my dad's teams, or I was shooting baskets on the hoop he made for me and attached to our garage at home. I was a towel boy for his teams, and I had 2 great mentor coaches, Tom McDaniel at Jameson and Jim Nelson at William Jewell.
I consider myself lucky because of the coaches I played for. My father in junior high, my high school coach Carl McDaniel, who guided us to a record of 33-1 my senior year, and he is here tonight. My college coach Jim Nelson, who is a member of this Hall of Fame and as mentioned earlier passed away this past summer. My college cross-country and track coach Daryl Gorley, who is also here tonight. I owe so very much to each of them and to all my wonderful teammates for teaching me the great game of basketball.
I was brought up in a we and not an I philosophy of coaching. My dad coached, and it's not me. I'm not out there playing. It's a collaboration. I am blessed to have had a lot of outstanding assistant coaches. I want their input, and I want them to share in whatever success we are having.
Some of you know that I missed 5 games this year as I was recovering from my surgery. These 5 gentlemen spent numerous hours making sure our program continued to progress. In their first game without me, they coached the Cardinals to win over the #1 team in the nation at the time, Oklahoma City. They followed that up with 2 more wins, so they're 3-0 without me. They did play at Rockhurst University, and they lost. After that loss, I called the Rockers coach Bill O'Connor and thanked him for saving my job.
2006 was one of those years for you. You lost the love of your life. 6 months later, you lose the wisecracking assistant coach you love like a family member. Your son-in-law is going through testicular cancer. Barrett Wepler, who had been such a great high school player in Liberty, you recruited him, you watched him, you were friends with his family. He passes. Was there a point where in 2006 you said, why me now?
I'm sure there probably was. It was challenging. I'm walking the beach with Ann in January at a basketball tournament, and a month later she's in a coma, and a month after that she passes. And it's the way I chose to look at that, Dave, quite honestly, was that I got to spend 31 plus years with the love of my life who became my best friend. A lot of people don't get 31 plus, and still have 3 great daughters. The sad part is that Ann didn't get to see her first grandchild being born at that time, about the same time that she was in the coma. But I know she's looking down with a lot of pride on Lindsay and Lauren and Lacey and those 2 great grandkids.
2008, Linda McLeod comes into your life. How'd you meet her?
Well, actually, one of Ann's best friends, Amy Schaff, got us together and we met, and it was special right from the start. Met her at the end of March, and we got married November 1st. And I know that my daughters probably thought I rushed into that a little bit, but it was a great fit. She's a lovely lady, retired school teacher in the Raytown School District, and she's very active. She loves to play tennis, and we play a little racquetball, a little table tennis, and she has a great family. She has 2 daughters and 3 granddaughters. I have 3 daughters, a grandson, and a granddaughter. So it's a great fit, and she's been a blessing in my life as well.
I consider myself lucky because of my many supportive administrators, mentors, and friends. Dr. Norris Patterson, who's in this Hall of Fame, my college advisor. Dr. Jim Luchin, the AD at Central Methodist during my 6 years there. Dr. Robert Foster, the president of Northwest Missouri State, who hired me, and Mr. Bob Iglehart, whom I worked when he was the head coach at Northwest Missouri State. Mr. Benny McCarroll, who is here tonight, is one of my best friends and greatest supporters. I remember coaching my first game at Northwest Missouri State University. Benny was the alumni director and also worked the scores table. I was a bit nervous, so I went over to the scores table and I asked Benny, how many timeouts do I have left? And Benny looked back at me and said, how many do you need?
Coach Kress, the women's basketball coach, said that you were so stuck up, you didn't talk to her the first year and a half that she was a Jewell. Larry used to go tanning, color his hair, permed it. Now he should get half-price haircuts because there's no hair left. Are you an easy target because you're the guy at the top?
I think so, but her first 5 years there, I guess I didn't speak to her, and I tell her that was the best 5 years of my life.
She decided several months ago that we should compete in a weight loss competition. Now, some of you know I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in September. When I decided to go to St. Louis for my surgery in November, Jill generously offered to drive Linda and I in her van so that I would be comfortable returning home after the surgery. We were touched by her caring and generous offer until we overheard her asking the doctor to be sure and weigh the prostate after we took it out because it should not be counted as legitimate weight loss.
About 6 years ago, I got into a pretty big health kick and was trying to get Coach Holley in it as well. One of my friends was the head of the health and fitness area down there, and so I was telling her what we wanted to do, and they had a new body fat pod thing. It's supposed to be extremely accurate, and she told me if I could convince Coach Holley to do it, that she would do the body fat scan for both of us. Well, the night before we went, my friend called me and told me that for the readings to be accurate, we had to wear very little clothing, and what we had to wear had to be spandex. She said my swimsuit would be fine, and then she asked me if I thought Larry had a Speedo. I told her I don't know, but I'm really hoping not. So there we are standing in this little room with Coach Holley in biker shorts and a swim cap, and that is it. When he turned around to go get in the pod, Dr. Red and I sat down and laughed so hard we had tears. So you're probably wondering why I told this story. Well, first off, I've been dying to tell the story. Secondly, you now have the same visual that I've had for
They need 3 to tie, 4 to win. Duffy ties it up with 2.1 left. Wow. Third for him, and Sistrunk. Two-handed Bubba jump shot. How about that? Nothing but net.
I want to help young people get better, both on and off the floor. That's very important to me. I truly believe any success or failure that I have will be measured by what happens with these young people 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what they do with their lives and their families. But, you know, it used to be that I would be sitting in my office with a recruit and his parents, and they would ask if I would be there all 4 years of their child's career at William Jewell, thinking maybe I would take another job. And now they sit there and ask me that question, thinking maybe I'm going to keel over, or I'm having a bad hair day, or whatever the case might be. So in closing, I say to you that I always tell my students in my analysis of coaching basketball class and players on our teams to find their passion in life and then chase their dreams. I sure chase mine.